Everyone wants to save money. But how do we do it? Money saved is not saved for long if not put to use. Although there are different ways to save money, most people end up doing it in the same way. It's easy to do, it's convenient, it just works for most people. But these habits can be the very thing that stops you saving money and can even hold you back from moving forward with your financial goals. What if you could change how you save money? We are all connected to our money, and with a little bit of practice, we can actually change the way we save money. In this video, I'm going to share 5 psychology tricks that can help you save money and turn your life around. 1. Visualize. In an article by The Motley Fool, Steve Sittler said, "The top trick to mentally working your money is to visualize it." To be completely honest, I've used visualization for years and find it incredibly helpful. We are all familiar with the mind-body connection. When you are trying to learn something new, it is extremely easy to learn by visualizing. One of my favorite ways to visualize is using the Nike slogan, "Just do it." For every task, I picture myself doing the task. This can be anything from writing a blog post to walking on the treadmill for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter what it is, the goal is to simply do the task and visualize it. Why visualize? To remind you what you are working for. If you don't see yourself accomplishing the goal you are working towards, you won't even want to work hard to achieve it. It is too abstract. When you visualize the goal, you will be more likely to continue working towards it. 2. Use the 70/30 rule. If you're into financial planning, you're probably familiar with the 70/30 rule. This rule is something I learned while I was in college. When the professors were talking about saving for retirement, they would say that if you have a 70% chance of not having enough money in retirement, then you should save that 70%. You should save 30% of your income every year. Yet, despite that, so many people don't do it. Instead, they end up going for the quick buck and they end up investing less than 10% of their income. In other words, the average person who is saving 30% ends up investing less than 10% of their income. So the question is, why do we do this? Most people have a tendency to aim for the top and to dream big when it comes to achieving big goals. This is why many people shoot for the moon and then land on their feet. But the top is not where you want to be. Instead, you should shoot for the mid-zone and aim for the lower zone. You'll need to spend less to achieve big things, like financial independence. So instead of aiming for a $10 million retirement, aim for $2 million and then work to save $800,000 in the meantime. You'll spend less money and more time to reach that goal. Now, this may sound more difficult than it really is. Here's a very simple way to learn how to save 30% of your income. For starters, go ahead and change your attitude towards money. If you are not saving 30% of your income and are only putting away 10%, then start paying yourself first. Set up automatic contributions to your retirement account. You'll be shocked at how quickly this small change will boost your savings rate. Next, try to track how much you are spending and compare that to your income. If you see that you are spending more than you are earning, try to figure out where that money is going. You can find the answer to that question by tracking your expenses and comparing it to your income. Once you find where your money is going, you will be able to create a spending plan that will improve your financial situation. You will also need to get rid of all the extraneous spending and consider paying your bills by direct deposit. The best way to stop spending is to first stop spending money. Your spending habits, your biggest source of income, and your most important relationships will all play a part in your financial success. 3. Use the 80/20 rule. There is a better way to spend your money than to chase top-notch rewards or to find the latest must-have product. Instead of chasing the latest consumer product or the next big thing, you should focus on the 80/20 rule. In fact, the idea is that 80% of the solutions to your problems are right there in front of you. You just have to pay attention to them. Take these examples. Instead of signing up for a credit card for a 0% interest period, pay your bills with cash. If you are going to continue spending like a broke college student, cut back on dining out, cable TV, and cell phone service. Instead of buying that new smartphone and paying for data and unlimited service, just invest in a cheap smartphone for $50 and pay it off every month. You can find the answers to all of these issues and more right in front of you. So don't waste your time shopping for the latest gadget. 4. Negotiate. Everyone knows that bargaining is great. It helps us to get deals, save money, and it shows that we can be strong negotiators. So why don't we apply this to our finances instead of just using it for frivolous things like cars and food? Now, it's unlikely that you are going to walk into a store and immediately negotiate a better price with a customer service representative. But you should start thinking about it and make a mental note. I have seen many people walk into retail stores and negotiate, but they don't have an attitude or follow through. They wait for someone to come to the front of the store and offer them the best deal. Instead of asking someone to lower the price on a product that you've already purchased, ask them to keep the price the same and give you the money back. You can do the same thing with your mortgage, car loan, or even your child's college tuition. If you are paying too much for something, ask to lower the price. I've done this a number of times with the cable company. I'll call customer service and ask if there is any way I can get a better deal. I always end up getting a better deal, and all I had to do was ask. 5. Be a pacer. If you don't already know what a pacer is, then it is very likely that you've used a fuel meter or petrol pump before. If you haven't, then don't worry. I'm going to cover how this technique works and what it takes to be a successful pacer. The basic idea of a pacer is that you load money into a prepaid card and use it to get fuel. You only pay fuel when you've done your driving. Because it costs about $3 to fill up the tank, it's quite easy to afford to fill the tank once or twice a month if you use this technique. The pay with prepaid card technique works because you are using a prepaid card to pay for a per-agreed service. You aren't using the card to make purchases at a shop. There's no risk of running out of money and going into debt. You can use this technique for almost anything. It's really not very difficult to save money using a pacer because it works on the psychology of risk. 6. Stop giving money away. The amount of money you spend on things like entertainment, going out, and other spontaneous purchases is way more than you think. If you go out to eat twice a week and buy some snacks, you will be spending $3,000 a year. I've done the math for you, and that means you are spending $350 a month. Can you afford that? Can you spend $350 a month on frivolous things? I know I can't. Instead of buying things for yourself and wasting your money, put money in an envelope and only spend that money on things that really matter. You can make a very small budget that fits with your lifestyle. 7. Avoiding debt. Once you have a nice emergency fund and a healthy amount of savings, then you can start paying off your debts. It's important that you not take on any new debts before you pay off your old debts. That way you don't increase the debt level in your life. When you pay off your old debts, then you can pay off new debts without adding to your monthly expenses. 8. Long-term thinking. Most people have a short-term perspective. They want to make the most of their money now because they don't have a long-term view. They don't want to deal with problems that may occur in the future. The problem with short-term thinking is that it's easy to get locked in a cycle of feeling hopeless about your financial situation. That's why it's so important to have long-term plans. For example, if you're saving for retirement, the goal is not to make it to the end of the year. You need to have a clear plan so that you can move forward without feeling hopeless. The problem with people is that they don't like being in limbo. They don't want to wait to be told what to do. This is where things can get dangerous. And that's why having a strategy is so important. 9. Making sense? If you are struggling to save money, I strongly recommend reading about how making sense can help you save money. This technique allows you to convert any amount of money into a better way to spend it. This tactic works especially well if you don't know how much you will be able to save. You can save more than you think if you know that you can convert pennies into dollars. Just save $1 and convert it into $1.25. Now you can buy a few snacks, a pack of gum, or any number of things that are in a dollar range. Some people will tell you that if you follow these easy steps, you can be saving money with no effort. The truth is, money will take you where you want it to go if you want it to move forward. If you're not putting in the effort, you're not going to get to where you want to be. To use the analogy of making a penny, you cannot save a penny that you don't make. A person who is great at saving money would make a point of spending money in ways that make sure they make money in the process. 10. Keep finances in perspective. Do you have an urgent need to have new clothes but need to save for a big trip? That's the perspective of a consumer. The perspective of an investor is much different. A consumer has financial goals. An investor has money goals. Retirement is one of the biggest money goals in the world. You want to spend it as late as you can and not before. Your mindset has a lot to do with the way you save money. When you put buying clothes above retirement savings, you know you're stuck in the mindset of a consumer. You are focused on immediate gratification and what you need. If you have a financial goal that is about more than the next month, set aside money to achieve it. Putting money into a retirement account is a priority because your goal is to be able to live off of the money you have while saving for retirement. You want to make sure you have enough to cover your bills for the rest of your life. Because of this, you have to put aside money each month to reach your goal. Despite the efforts of financial professionals, saving money often remains out of reach for the majority of the population. The good news is that saving money is easier than it sounds, provided you follow the right advice. So whether you're a high-income professional who simply needs to adopt more responsible spending habits, or you're a beginner looking for ways to save money, there are several key psychological principles that can help you cut through the financial clutter and start to put your money to work for you. If there's one thing that the above statistics reveal, it's that there's a huge gap between the proportion of people who are financially comfortable and those who are not.